After another federal coronavirus relief bill was passed, South Dakota is once again beginning to consider options for how to spend that money. During the 2020 legislative session, the legislature spent a little over $1 billion in COVID relief, but now they're tasked with spending over $3 billion. Austin Goss spoke to state legislators tasked with that decision. Has our story from the Peer Newsroom.
South Dakota is flushed with cash once again after another COVID relief package came down from Washington. The American Rescue Plan was signed into law by President Joe Biden on March 11th. However, much is still unclear about how the state can spend that money.
And there's some vague descriptions as to how it's supposed to be spent or intended to be spent. But this package is much different than the other, that we don't have clear direction.
The bill allots roughly $3.5 billion to South Dakota, which will roughly double what South Dakota received from the 2020 CARES Act. The American Rescue Plan offers heavy incentives for states to expand Medicaid.
It would give us an extra 5% of our federal match on Medicaid overall, which is about $93 million. We'd get that over 2 years. Medicaid expansion would only cost us about $20 million per year of general fund revenue. So basically the federal government is saying, if you do Medicaid expansion, we will basically pay for it for the first 4 years, and then after that it's a 90-10 split.
However, many conservative members of the Legislators' Appropriations Committee still call into question the deficit spending by the federal government.
The bills that we're looking at and the requests we're looking at are for funds that would go to things that are completely unrelated to the COVID crisis. So we need to address these things in a responsible way. What I read in the legislation that's coming out of Washington suggests that they're going to say that they want us to use this for COVID-related issues, but in reality, that's probably not going to apply.
Nezaba argues the federal dollars have always been a factor in South Dakota.
We have about a $5 billion budget. About 1.8 of it comes from the federal government year after year after year, and about 1.8 of it is raised from ourselves. South Dakota is highly dependent on the federal government.
The deadline to spend that money is not until 2024, so state legislators will have plenty of time to make decisions. In Pierre, Austin Goss, Dakota News Now.